Hello, my name is Sarah Peluso. Terrorist attacks can shake the foundation of our biggest buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America. These acts shatter steel, but they cannot dent the steel of American resolve. This quote is by George W. Bush regarding the World Trade Center and specifically the attack of 9/11. 9/11 is the day in 2001 when Arab suicide bombers hijacked United States airliners and used them as bombs. 9/11 altered our future forever. This informative speech will touch upon the points of a history of the World Trade Center, what led to 9/11, my personal interest in 9/11, and how 9/11 connects to the American society. Construction on the World Trade Center began in 1966. This was very historical and meant a lot to New York City because it came at a time where they were uncertain of what the city held for them and if the city was going to have a bright future. So the building of these two towers symbolized strength. There is both a North Tower and a South Tower. In order to build the World Trade Centers, 5 streets had to be closed and 164 buildings had to be demolished in order to make room for these huge towers. The North Tower opened on December 1970, while 2 years later the following tower, the South Tower, opened in January 1972, and on September 11th, 2001, they were destroyed. What led to these horrible attacks on the World Trade Center were terrorists from Al-Qaeda hijacked planes and flew them into the towers. Behind this was one man, and the Al-Qaeda was acting under him. His name was Osama bin Laden, and he orchestrated the plan to destroy the towers and then had the Al-Qaeda carry out his plans. Osama bin Laden's hatred of America grew throughout the years due to numerous events in history, and this attack had been planned for many years. Osama planned the attack and made sure it was carried through. My personal interest in 9/11 is very personal because I live in Ridgewood, New Jersey, and if you don't know where Ridgewood, New Jersey is, it's about 25 minutes outside of the city. So my father works in New York City, as well as many of my friends and some family members. And growing up in Ridgewood during 9/11 was very difficult because many of my friends' parents died, as well as my uncle. And on September 11th, 2001, I was in 4th grade, and I remember being called out of my classroom, and I walked down the stairs in my little elementary school and through the hall and down to the principal's office, and when I got about midway, I looked down and I saw my mom, and I still remember it very vividly. And my mom was there crying, and I was very confused because I was young, and I walked up and I was like, "Mom, why are you crying?" And she told me that these mean men attacked the towers and that there was a horrible crash, and I was very confused. It's a lot to take in as a 4th grader. And then she explained that my Uncle John had died in the towers, and my Uncle John was located on the 92nd floor in the North Tower, and where the plane crashed into the tower was under his floor. So there was no way he was going to get out. So I have a very deep and personal interest in this topic because it affected the life of my family, and I believe I had 5 friends who lost their fathers in 9/11. So in Ridgewood there's memorials, and it's when 9/11 rolls around each year, it gets very somber in the town of Ridgewood. And we also have a stone in our main park with the names of the ones that were lost. The connection to American society is that this was a personal attack on America, and this affected America as a whole. And Osama bin Laden planned an attack on one of the most well-known cities, and it's going to forever be engraved in our minds, and it is crazy to think that it will someday appear in textbooks if it hasn't already, and that our children will have to learn in textbooks about this awful event that we have all lived through. In conclusion, I just want to point out again that 9/11 altered the future. Whether it affected you personally or not, it has altered the future of America. George W. Bush said, "America was targeted for an attack because we're the brightest beacon for freedom and opportunity in the world, and no one will keep that light from shining." I have to agree with George W. Bush and say that even this attack that took thousands of lives will not dim the brightness of America. Thank you.